Ladies and gentlemen across the galaxy, come on in. The deadliest Star Destroyer in the galaxy is open for business today. And you're going to want to hold on tight to whatever's close by, because some of people's worst nightmares is going to come true, potentially, in regards to the Galactic Legends Rey requirements. There has been a leak running rampant, alleged leak, let me say that just to cover my butt a little bit, that people have been noticing, catching fire. There's been some YouTubers pushing it out there. I knew this leak a couple days ago, saw it. I didn't want to make a video on it because, you know, everybody can make fake leaks out there, and I wasn't sure about the legitimacy of this leak. But if the whispers I'm hearing are true, there's going to be some truth to what we're seeing. And this is coming from sources that kind of fed me information in regards to a lot of the stuff before they even became public in regards to Galactic Legends. So again, this is just an alleged leak, but it's showing that Zorii Bliss is coming to Galaxy of Heroes. That's one thing, and she will be needed. At least her ship will be needed for the Galactic Legends Raven. And this leak is allegedly also showing that Rose Tico is gonna be needed at Relic 5. Breathe it in, people. Breathe it in. The only reason I'm making this video is because people are starting to see these videos out there, seeing this screenshot get spread more and more. They want my take on it. So what we're going to do is kind of follow through Capital Games' footsteps, what they've said so far in regards to the Galactic Legends requirements. And I think there's some legitimacy in this leak, in that people who are aimlessly spending money, hoping to get these characters, Day 1, Rey and Kylo, that is, they need to be kind of aware that there's a chance they might not even get these characters the first time around, because it's also showing things like Amlin Holdo's Radis. We talked about whether General Leia Organa will get the Radis or Amlin Holdo. Amlin Holdo seems to be more logical for where this game is right now. We don't even know how the Radis is going to be released. What if it's a get to farm? I digress. We're going to hold our thoughts for a second. Let's just kind of dive into this leak in regards to the Galactic Legends Raven. Now, I do not have any sort of intel in regards to Kylo Ren's alleged requirements for that. We're gonna have to just see whenever that comes out, if there's gonna be another leak in regards to. But here we go. Here's the screenshot. Now that I kind of preface that this is an alleged leak, do not take it as 100% fact, but take it as maybe a realization check. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I do not know when this was posted, because we know the other day we talked about how they're reducing the requirements from 17 per character to 13 per character. If this was released a couple days before that announcement was made, there would be a lot of legitimacy behind this. We see there's 13 units here, not 17, so it kind of makes that check mark right there. So let's break down what it's saying. And in case you're wondering how does this kind of come about, there is a beta program out there. I'm not a part of it. And these group of people get access to things really early. New characters, new events. They get like people like the Sith Raid. There's a lot of people who tried out the Sith Raid, beta tested it, and when it came out day 1, they already kind of knew a lot of the great lineups and stuff, but it's more for quality testing and seeing from these group of people, hey, do you like this event? Do you like this character? Are you okay with the requirements happening? And I do not know if this is servers on Discord or Slack. We see from this screenshot, this is a Discord server screenshot. So if this is on Slack and not Discord, this could definitely be fake. Again, it could definitely be someone trolling out there. I'm mainly reacting to it because a lot of people have already seen this be spread out there and they want my take on it. But as we see, first step right here, we already know these Relic 7 Jedi Training Rey, Relic 5 Finn, Episode 7 Finn, that is, and then Resistance Trooper is needed at Relic 5. So that much we got already. Moving on, this is all the stuff that we do not know, but it makes logical sense. We don't quite know the theme of these, the new event. We know, like, for example, Jedi Training Rey's event was basically the Force Awakens kind of reenacted for you. With this one right here, this event, it could probably span both Episode 7 all the way to Episode 9. We don't quite know, but with them dipping into Episode 7 Finn, as well as Resistance Trooper and Scavenger Rey, potentially, they might just be doing the whole reenactment of Rey's journey. We don't know, but it's the second batch requirements. I guess we'll find out this is going to be legitimate whenever they release the next batch, probably later this week. Rey Scavenger, the 7-star Relic 2. Again, it makes logical sense. BB-8, 7-star Relic 2, RTD2, 7-star Relic 2. There's nothing really on this list that's going to be like, oh, that's impossible. It's all logic. It's all logically related to some extent. And then moving on, Resistance Hero Finn and Poe. What I figured was going to be one of the bigger bottlenecks for this event was going to be the 2 brand new Resistance characters. And for the First Order, Hawks and the Sith Trooper, you're going to need them. They're not free to play just yet. For the average person, it's going to take several months to get these characters, the 7 stars, and yet alone Relics. And then this is the one that's going to probably irk a lot of people. Rose Tico, 7-star Relic 5. Now, a long time ago, I gave out a word of advice. If you're someone that's trying to play efficiently and you don't really care about lore and you're just trying to make sure you're doing the best possibly in this game, I said way back when, find time to farm Holdo and Rose Tico, because there's a good chance Capital Games is going to create some event, that's some legendary based event that's going to require Rose Tico. They're probably going to look at the numbers and see a lot of people are neglecting Holdo and Rose Tico because most likely they didn't like The Last Jedi and didn't like those characters, so they refused to farm them. I understand that. I was kind of on that boat, but eventually I was like, all right, whatever. Let's at least farm them to 7 stars because they are hard farms, and they're probably going to turn Rose Tico kind of into a bottleneck because a lot of people neglected those characters. They'll probably sell packs for Rose Tico. But Relic 5, she's not a great character. I get, fine, whatever, making her required, but Relic 5, if that's true, that's gonna suck. So up here, as we see, there's this text that this is subject to change. We don't know who posted it. Let's just assume it's a dev saying these are subject to change. So maybe when they added this, they probably are getting feedback, and maybe this is going to be reduced. Maybe they're going to take Rose Tico out. Maybe they're going to reduce the Relic level. Maybe make her gear 12 instead as a requirement. But again, this could all change if this is a legitimate leak. Luckily, I have Rose Tico at 7 stars, but she's at like gear 1. I have not put a single drop of gear in her. And as a word of advice to all of you guys, do not just go jump on this leak right away and our ledge leak and start gearing up these characters aimlessly, because we do not know if these characters will be needed in the long run. I mean, there are a couple of characters that are just great to gear up despite the screenshot right here, such as Jedi Training Rey, BB-8 RT, Finn, and Poe. These are all characters that are very solid for the Resistance right now. Anyways, we can keep talking about this Rose Tico part. People are probably crying right now, but the 4 out of 4, the fourth step to all this, the Radis Aphelion Holdo. We know that there's a Radis coming to the game. We don't know who's going to pilot it. I think at this point, I think a lot of us have gotten over the fact that General Organa probably not going to happen in Galaxy Heroes. Very unfortunately, they're going to use Holdo instead. Again, a character not a lot of people farmed up, a character not a lot of people have geared up, and they're probably going to make her need it. Now, the great thing about the ship part, we know there are ships in for this event, so this could definitely be true. The good thing about ships is that you don't need the character to 7 stars. You don't need them at high gear. You just need to have the character unlocked, and then you got to have the ship as well, which they're saying you need 7-star ships. So it's not going to be as bad, I suppose. But keep in mind, we don't know how difficult the ship aspect of this event is, and how ships work is the more powerful your character is, the more powerful the ship is. So it very well may be, yeah, you can use a 2-star Holdo, but if she's not like gear 11, gear 12, gear 13, and Relic, it's going to be very, very, very difficult. And then we have Poe Dameron's X-Wing, Resistance X-Wing, 2 ships that have been in the game since basically day 1 of ships and easily accessible. So not too big of a problem there. And then there's Zorii Bliss's Y-Wing, and it's also showing Zorii Bliss is going to be a pilot. Now, keep this in mind. This is what's going to make us question the legitimacy of this leak. I have some things to kind of point to kind of see if this leak is real or not. At the minimum, take this screenshot as a realization check. If you, I know a lot of people that are just aimlessly spending money to gear up these characters right here, and they're kind of aimlessly gearing up a lot of other characters like BB, R2D2, yada, yada, yada. Here's the problem. You can spend all this money in the world, but what if they all of a sudden make the Radis a guild event token to farm? That means, unless you hoard it and you skipped out on the Malevolence and the Negotiator, you're going to be farming the Radis, let's say, for the next several months. It's a several-month farm just to get these ships, these new capital ships that are coming to the game. We have not yet had a capital ship, which has really been pay to play. And you have to, it's like a marquee capital ship where you have to buy the ship straight out. We haven't had one of those quite yet, really. So this could definitely be a ship you paid $300 some, boom, you got the capital ship, end of story. They could do that, and then fine, you can pay your way to get these characters right away. Zorii Bliss, if this is going to be true, most likely a marquee ship, marquee character. You could buy those straight out right. And I gotta say, if this is true, it's kind of a bummer they would pick Zorii Bliss to add out of all the other characters from the sequel. Zorii Bliss is just an alright character, didn't really add too much to the Rise of Skywalker movie, but whatever. I mean, there's a lot of other characters on the list I would definitely add, but Zorii Bliss, if this is true, she's going to be needed. And again, you can just have her unlocked at 3 stars, whatever the marquee event might be, but you're going to need to spend to get the Zorii Bliss's Y-Wing up to 7 stars. And Zorii Bliss did have a Y-Wing on the Star Wars page. It kind of talks about all the ships you're going to see in Rise of Skywalker and stuff like that. And Zorii Bliss does indeed have a Y-Wing. In case you did not notice, we see this right here. There's some toys made that has Zorii Bliss's Y-Wing. So it definitely could be legitimate. It is kind of specific enough where it kind of makes sense. But now, taking this screenshot right now, let's kind of connect this to the dots, because the question is this legitimate? The one true way to find out is just wait for the rest of the month when they slowly release the next batch requirements. My prediction is probably later on this week, we're going to get the 2 out of 4 parts. So we're going to see if this step is going to be true. Well, let's kind of connect the dots, because this is a random thing on Discord. It could be a very well staged, the app BT, app beta testers, and then they're kind of subject to change. Hashtag beta feedback. If it is fake, it's a very elaborate one. People kind of went above and beyond, which is kind of why they didn't want to make a video about it a couple days ago. But now it seems like everyone wants to see how I think about it. Moving on over here, this is when we first got the first set of requirements in regards to the Galactic Legends. We saw the Jedi Training Rey, yada 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 yada, and then we have this little edit right here. The minimum requirements for each character will vary, and not all characters will require relics for this event. Now, this is where the screenshot starts to get questioned a little bit, because every single one of these characters, at least for the Rey side, we don't know the Kylo side, unfortunately, they show relics. Now, I guess there is some sort of truth in all this, because these characters for the ships, they do not need to be relic. They don't need to be gear 13. You just need to have the ship, the 7 stars, to participate in the event. So that right there could satisfy that requirement that not all the characters will require relics for this event. You can have a gear 11 Poe and call it a day, and have the 7-star ship right there, Zorii Bliss. You can just have her at 3 stars, 2 stars, whatever marquee characters unlock them at, and you're just gonna need to have the ship, the 7 stars. So that right there could satisfy the requirement. Thing number 2 is that we know that there's only going to be 13 characters, or 13 units, I should say, for this event. And as we see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 units. So that right there satisfies another requirement. 13 units per new character that we're getting. And then lastly, the thing that I think is going to question this the most is this right here. We talked about this the other day in regards to how much more stuff could we possibly be getting from the Rise of Skywalker, or the sequel content, I should say. And as we saw here, we talked about this the other day, less than 10 new things, including ships and characters, are going to be added from the Rise of Skywalker, The Last Jedi, as well as The Force Awakens. And the problem is right now, we're already at 8. We already did the math before. We got Rey, Kylo, Hux, Sith Trooper, Resistance Hero Finn, Resistance Hero Poe, Radis, Finalizer. And then if you're doing less than 10, technically the maximum you can get is 9. And it kind of makes sense, because the other day we said, all right, well, if they're going to add one more new thing, most likely it's going to be a resistance ship, because we already talked about how the First Order is getting the Finalizer, which, by the way, I can almost assure you that that's probably going to be needed for the new Kylo Ren coming out. The First Order at least has 4 ships in total, but when you look at the Resistance, they only have 3 ships. So I said before a couple days ago that it would make sense that the last new thing they added is going to be a Resistance ship, and Zorii Bliss would most likely be that Resistance ship, as we see over here. The problem that we have, though, is that this doesn't satisfy that last requirement, that we are going to have less than 10 new things added. Of course, this is based off a Q&A given in December 4th, so things may have changed. Maybe they changed their plans. Everything is subject to change that the developers say out there. So very good chance we will get exactly 10 new things, and those last 2 things being Zorii Bliss, as well as the ship for Zorii Bliss. So so that's the only thing I think that's really questionable about this screenshot right here, is that this has 10 when the developer said less than 10 new things are going to be added. So it's a very minor thing to criticize off the screenshot here. So at the end of the day, this screenshot should at least serve as a realization, because I know a lot of people are just spending money on these characters that we already have, and they do not know, firstly, how good these characters are going to be. We do not have a kit reveal for the new Rey, the new Kylo. We do not know the rest of the requirements. We don't know how things like the Radis, which we know is for sure coming out, how is that going to be farmable? If it's get to farm, all this money you people are spending out there to get ready for these new Rey and Kylo characters, it's an absolute waste of money. That's kind of the big problem I have with them slow releasing all this, is because they're making people spend money, not even knowing if they're going to even get the unit, because they could say, all right, the Radis and Finalizer are coming. It's going to be a get to farm. Oh, sorry, you spent a couple $100. Now you're going to have to wait several months down the road. My biggest advice before we wrap up this video is, unless you're needing to make videos like I do, there's really not a lot of reason to spend all this money until you know all the requirements, until you know the kits and what they're looking like, because right now everything is up in the air, and all the money we're spending right now, it's just pure speculation that we do not even know if we're guaranteed. So we're gonna wrap up the video right there, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know, do you think this screenshot is true? Do you think it's a fake, a very good fake, I might add, that's satisfying a lot of the requirements that we kind of broke down today? Would love to hear your thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy the video, you guys know what to do. Go ahead, hit that like button, comment down below on all your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing, so we can actually know if this is actually a legit screenshot. I'll see you all you lovely people in the next video. Peace out, everybody.